Welcome everyone. I'm Menuka from our Brampton store, and I'm so happy to be here today to talk about my love of cruising and share some of my top picks. I have a real passion for travel and have been in the travel industry for 15 years. I also have my colleague Regina joining me from our Winston Churchill store. Hi Regina, how are you doing today?
Hi, Manuka. Thank you so much. I'm doing well, thank you. Always a pleasure to see you. Welcome, everyone. I am from the Winston Churchill store in Mississauga, and I have been in the industry for over 30 years and been with Sell Off Vacations for 5 years. Yes, I love talking about cruising and helping my clients plan that perfect cruise getaway. I've planned so many cruises from the first-time cruisers to the die-hard cruisers who will not travel any other way. I've helped them find the perfect itinerary to where they would like to sail, as well as the right cruise line to fit their needs. We also have a special guest here today with us, Jeff Carpenter from Travel Brands. Hey, Jeff.
Thanks, ladies. Hi, everyone. It's always nice to be able to join one of these presentations. I always love sharing my travel experiences, a bit of my knowledge with you and your viewers. So just a bit of background. I work for a company called Travel Brands, and we have special agreements with 18 cruise line partners. Now, I will say we do not sell directly to the public, so you have to go to your travel agent at Sell Off Vacations. We work very closely with Sell Off Vacations. They get access to these special rates, Canadian pricing, sometimes some added bonuses as well, like onboard credits and prepaid gratuities. So you definitely want to reach out to the Sell Off team, and we have a great partnership working with these special agreements. Now, I'll just say before I hand it back over to you, I've been lucky through my travels to be on 6 different cruise lines, and one of the things that I always love is just the ability of having so much choice on board. Whether you want to relax by the pool, go to the spa, if you want to take in some of the daily activities, go down one of the water slides, hit the casino, just the amount of activities, and also all the food and restaurant options on board. So that choice, that flexibility really appeals to me when it comes to cruising and getting to sample multiple destinations on one itinerary. So look forward to chatting with you ladies a lot more through the presentation.
Thanks for joining us, Jeff. Just a quick note to our viewers, we will be answering your questions live throughout the presentation. So please enter any questions you may have into the chat function and we will do our best to get to them. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot wait to get back on the waters and set sail.
Me too, Manuka. I cannot wait to get into the open waters, and it is so exciting to have heard in the last week that some ships will be starting sailing again as early as June of this year. I think it's important to note too that with these announcements, the majority of the cruise lines are requiring passengers to be fully vaccinated to board the ship. There may be some exceptions for younger ages in which in case a negative PCR test would be required. Of course, this is all evolving, but we always keep our customers informed of any changes. So Manuka, where would you like to cruise next?
I want to go on an Alaskan cruise. I always thought the Alaskan cruises were for seniors for some reason. Then I ended up booking my cousin's family consisting of 2 adults and 3 kids, with the youngest being 10. The feedback I got from them changed my whole perspective of this cruise, and now I want to go on one myself. I have read so much into them during the downtime and really can't wait to see the Great Lands, glaciers, wildlife national parks, and to ride the exclusive Alaskan railroads that I've heard so much about. The one ship I really want to go on is Princess Cruise, as they offer the cruise tours, which combines one of their wilderness lodges for an overnight stay, train experience, flight seeing, and all the show excursions included. I want to be on more of an expedition ship with all the amenities of a luxury cruise line. Even though 2022 is so far away, it might be a 2023 vacation. If I don't convince my husband to come with me as 2022 is already selling out.
Oh, wow. Well, Alaska's too cold for me. I want to stay somewhere warm, as one cold winter is enough for me. I've heard that Alaska is amazing. Are you like a nature person? Is that why you want to go on this Alaska cruise?
Yes, I guess for this cruise I will be. My goal is to be able to see every country. If that means adding on an extra week or 2 of winter from May to September, we'll do so. The time I will be looking to go is in the month of June. as it has the longest day in summer where the sun is out all day. I've heard that it only goes down from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Must be the best time as you get sunshine all day.
That sounds really interesting, Manuka. I've been receiving many calls from my cruise clients wanting to sail in 2022 and 2023, giving me the itch to cruise myself. The one cruise which is on my bucket list is cruising the Mediterranean. Cruising the Med not only allows us to see so many cities in different countries, but it's almost like an all-inclusive. During the day, I can go on excursions to explore certain cities and go back to the ship where I have my accommodations and meals included. This way, I'm seeing more of Europe, but yet keeping within my budget. I do suggest to arrive at the first port at least 1 or 2 days before, not only to experience the city more, but to make sure you're getting to the ship on time, as some of these ports can be a few hours away from the airport. Also on that same bucket list, I would like to end the cruise in either Venice or Florence, so I can stay in Italy and visit the other countries I cannot the other cruise cities that I cannot see on the cruise, and finally end up in Sicily to visit my family. I prefer to extend my stay at the end of the cruise, as the cruises can keep you very busy and it is time sensitive at each port. This way I can relax at the end of my trip before going back home.
Great, Regina. I guess you just convinced me after the Alaska to do a Mediterranean cruise. I'm not sure if everyone is aware, but you can really see the whole world on a cruise. There are cruises that can take you to see Hawaii, Asia, the Middle East, and Australia. Well, Jeff, since we told you that it is what is in our bucket list, where would you like to cruise next?
Well, great answers, ladies. I'm happy that, obviously the Caribbean is so well known for cruising, but you both chose something unique like the Mediterranean, Alaska, and one of my favorite destinations is Hawaii. I've been there a couple times, but I haven't had a chance to see all the Hawaiian Islands yet. So I thought a cruise would be a great way to kind of experience all the different islands. And if you've ever been to Hawaii, just the aloha spirit and the culture of the people, it's so inviting. And, there's one itinerary that really stood out to me. It's on the Norwegian Spirit, and it cruises around all the Hawaiian Islands. And the best thing, of course, you can spend some pre-nights, which of course we recommend, in Hawaii before you start the cruise. And we can offer the flights, you can do some hotel nights, we can add in a car rental if you need, even a luau or different attractions. So you can do that before the cruise. Then of course, you're gonna get to travel around all the Hawaiian Islands. So it does port and stop in all the different Hawaiian Islands. And then this specific itinerary I was looking at on the Norwegian Spirit, it continues on down to Tahiti. And I know Tahiti is at the top of many people's bucket lists. Bora Bora, those overwater bungalows. So you get to stop in a few of the Tahitian islands. And then again, we can add on some post nights in Tahiti. How amazing would it be to finish the trip in staying in one of those overwater bungalows? Just a memorable experience, obviously, before you fly back to Canada. But that's one itinerary that really caught my eye if you're thinking about the South Pacific.
Well, Jeff, that really sounds really good. I think I'd like to do that as well on my next list as well. Let's check in with Shannon and see if we have any questions from our viewers. Hi, Shannon. How are you today?
Hey, everybody. I'm really good, actually. And Jeff, you can certainly sign me up for that cruise as well for Hawaii, and that ends up in Tahiti. That sounds amazing.
Definitely.
I'm all over that. So yeah, we do have some questions. I just wanted to quickly note, though, that we do have some agents answering your questions in the chat there as well. Gabriella from our Ottawa store and Janice from our Barrie store are there. So you'll see their responses in addition to Regina and Manuka and Jeff's responses as well here in the live presentation. So the first question I'm seeing here is someone asked, how far ahead can we book? Regina, do you want to take that?
You can book as far ahead as into 2023, and I would say you can book that now. Yeah. You can take advantage of all the great deals that are out there. You can take advantage of all the perks, anything extra that's going on right now with the cruise lines.
Yeah, absolutely.
add from my perspective, Regina, great answer. We're actually seeing a lot of bookings, not only for 2022, but for 2023. And especially if it's a unique itinerary that only goes maybe a couple times a year, we're getting world cruises that are sold out almost for 2023 already. So there's a lot of pent up demand, and it's the availability that's going to be the challenge. So
Yeah.
as you mentioned, there's some great promos and pricing. Lock it in now because it's very flexible with the terms and conditions. Because the closer you get to departure, the prices is going to go up, and that availability is going to be very difficult to find.
Yep, 100%. I totally agree with that. And speaking of world cruises, Jeff, someone did put a question in here, and they just asked, what is an around the world cruise? Do you want to take that, Jeff?
I can take that. There's different lengths. Generally, you're looking at a few months, and obviously you're visiting probably over 80, 100 port of calls. So there's, Holland America, Princess, a lot of these cruise lines do the world cruises, but they only have maybe one, possibly two per year. So that's why they're so popular. And I know one that we're getting a lot of bookings on, it leaves sometime in the middle of January and you don't get back to May. So how about missing all of the cold months of the winter weather here in Canada? That sounds perfect to me.
Oh my gosh, me too, for sure.
Me too.
I'd like to
do
add
that.
something onto that. I would say that it takes about 180 days, but you can do segments of the world cruise. You don't have to do the full 180 days. Sometimes you can do segments. So if somebody wants to go from Australia, like a part of the cruise, they can still do that. Regina, you wanted to add something on as well?
No, I think you've got that right on there. I don't think you don't have to do the full 180 days. You can actually do, a month here, a month there, and just add what you wanted to do. And there's your world cruise. If you'd like to do it consecutively, that would be great. I mean, I would love to do something like that one day. I guess when I have to retire.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
When I retire, maybe that'll be
exactly.
on my list. Sounds great, though. Ladies and Jeff, the next question here is, someone asked, can we social distance on a cruise? Manuka?
Yes, you can. So most of the cruise lines that are coming up with the new with the evolving situation that's going on, the public places you will have to wear masks, and they will be having social distancing most of the time. And it's a 40-50% capacity that they're booking into the cruises. So definitely if someone falls ill or if they have to quarantine or self-isolate, there will be cabins available for that as well.
Yeah, for sure. And that's part of the reason why we encourage booking early, because with a 40 or 50% capacity, those rooms are going to book up much quicker than they ever did before. So lots of pent-up demand.
Exactly. And I'd like to add something to that too. I would just suggest to definitely book with one of us, an agent, rather than booking online, because there is so much information that a lot of people don't really know is out there, and we have all that information, or keep you up to date and all the information as the situation evolves.
100%. Yeah, that's what we're here for, to help you through the whole process. So someone asked, is there anything from Toronto for a cruise? Regina?
Actually,
not a cruise right out of Toronto.
Not a cruise right out of Toronto, but there is some packages, and there are some river cruises that are doing the Great Lakes that include Toronto.
Okay, that's interesting. For sure, Regina could definitely help you with getting that information. We also do cruise packages from Toronto with airfare, to get you to other ports. So whatever you're looking for, we can certainly help you with that.
Definitely.
The next question here is from Larry. He asked, why do cruise lines give you free tips and bar perks, then want you to pay large gratuities on these perks, mainly the Norwegian Cruise Line? Jeff, do you want to touch on that? I don't know if we really have different.
I don't know the true answer, to be honest. Obviously, it's a cruise line decision. But yeah, when you pick your perks, let's face it, an open bar, they're probably losing a bit of money on that. So they do take a small gratuity. Now, having said that, your other prepaid gratuities are more for your cabin stewards and the people that are, cleaning your cabin and things like that. So you don't have to tip extra on any of your drinks or anything. But yeah, if you take the free at sea offer with Norwegian, with the bar package, there is a small gratuity that they do definitely collect.
And I think part of it too, Jeff, might be, the ratio staff to passengers on cruises is quite good. And I think, you're getting that top-notch service as well. So I'm sure that all plays a part in it as well. But yeah, all cruise line decisions directly, of course. So the next question here is someone asked, will COVID tests be required for each port of call? Regina, do you want to take that one?
COVID tests will not be required for each port of call. However, a COVID test will be required 72 hours before sailing, and as well as at the end of your sail. From what I understand, right. There will be COVID testing being done prior to getting off the ship, but not at each port of call, no.
Okay. I would like to add something to that, Regina, because it's an evolving situation still and it's quite fluid. What the cruise lines are trying to do is, when you go out and without mingling, they're trying to take everyone in, like to get the cruise tours booked with the cruise lines so that you don't mingle with the locals. So saying that, most probably I would say that the cruise lines are going to encourage to book the cruise tours and so on. So that's going to get sold out as well soon. So I do encourage everybody to book in advance.
Definitely, because they want to keep everyone within that bubble and just keep everyone safe. Yeah,
for sure. 100%. Thank you, ladies. The next one here, I think this is the last one we'll do for this segment of Q&A, but we'll come back again later in the live as well, a couple more times. So the last one here for this part is, does Sell-Off Vacations deal mostly with last-minute deals? And that came in from Gina. Manuka, do you want to take that?
No, that is just our name brand. We deal with everything. So we are, for cruises, we are booking into 2023, even for packages, whatever is in the system, we are able to book. So space is selling out for a lot of cruises that I know for 2022, but I have clients actually doing deposits for 2023 as well.
Yep, and we can do last minutes too, but we can do everything else.
Everything else as well, so,
full service for sure. Okay, so we'll move on with the presentation and I'll see you guys a little bit later.
Sure. Jeff, I know you have cruise lines for all types of travelers. We're going to ask you to give us the best cruise line or ship for specific type of cruiser.
Perfect, a lightning round. Let's bring it on. Yes, we have 18 cruise line partners, so hopefully I can give some insight on what's best for each type of traveler.
This is a great idea. Jeff, what is the best ship or cruise line you think is for a family vacation?
Well, first of all, if you have any little ones that are Disney fanatics, obviously we do deal with Disney Cruise Line, but the one that comes to mind for me would be Royal Caribbean, especially those Oasis class ships. They have everything from the flow rider surf simulator, the indoor skydiving simulator, rock climbing, ice skating, bumper cars. So if you have teenagers and, very energetic kids, there's so many activities for them to take advantage on these Oasis class ships with Royal Caribbean. Obviously, as you two mentioned too, they're one of the ones that are going to be starting up first here in June. So they have the one ship starting from Bahamas and then the other one starting from Bermuda as well. So keep Royal Caribbean in mind for definitely those family vacations.
Yeah, definitely. The family vacations are quite exciting, especially on those ships. I've been on one of them and it certainly has a lot to offer for families, that's for sure. How about honeymoons?
Honeymoon, I'd have to go with probably Celebrity Cruises. So they're, less families, more couples that you'll find. I was able to sail on Celebrity and, their tagline is modern luxury. So they are a bit of a step up, you know, from the mainstream kind of family cruise lines. And one of the things, Celebrity, all the drinks, the Wi-Fi, and the tips are included always. So the other thing, of course, too, if it's your honeymoon, we definitely encourage maybe to upgrade to one of the suite categories, and you get added amenities. So you know, shore excursions sometimes are included, and not only that, but there's private areas. When you're in the suite category, there's the retreat lounge and sun deck that you get access to. So if you want to escape from those main big crowded areas, you do got that little more private oasis. And then, of course, you also get access to their Michelin star restaurant, Lumine. That's also part of the suite category as well with Celebrity.
Wow, I want to go on my honeymoon all over again. Hope my husband's watching. Thank you, Jeff. What about weddings?
Weddings, well, actually, I have a personal story about a wedding. My cousin got married on Norwegian Cruise Line a couple of years ago. So there's about 40 of us, and we had every age demographic. And I thought Norwegian and NCL, they're perfect for every kind of age range. So we had, you know, grandparents on there, families that, you know, with kids and small children. We even had solo travelers. And one of the things Norwegian, a lot of their new ships has are solo cabins. And it's perfect for people traveling solo, obviously. There's enough space, and you get a little lounge that you only have access to as well. But no, Norwegian has a ton of activities as well. You know, I talked about Royal Caribbean, but, you know, some of the Norwegian new ships, they have, you know, laser tag and go-karts and, you know, water slides and rope courses. So a lot of activities that way. And then, of course, they have a lot of great entertainment from, you know, the Beatles and some of the other, you know, famous kind of stage shows that you'd almost find in New York. So one thing, too, they were able to get married right on the ship. So one of the days at sea, they did the wedding right on board, and there was a private area that they kind of set up as sort of the wedding chapel kind of area. And we all dressed up still, of course, and they did pictures, the cocktail party. We had a separate section for dinner. We all hit the disco at night. So yeah, it was definitely a fun experience. If anyone's thinking of getting married on board, by all accounts, it was very easy to plan and work with the coordinator. And, you know, as a guest, we all enjoyed it tremendously.
That would have been fun to be on board a cruise for a wedding. What would you consider for an expedition cruise, Jeff?
Expedition, there's a couple that come to mind. The first one would be Hurtigruten. So everyone always has a hard time pronouncing that one. But they're actually been around for a long time from Norway. And they initially, you know, did the Norwegian fjords, and they really truly are expedition. They go to Antarctica, they go to, you know, Iceland and the Arctic Circle, and really about getting out off the ship onto those Zodiacs, exploring up close and personal, the Galapagos. So yeah, these are bucket list items. Definitely that cruise line comes to mind. And then Atlas Ocean Voyages is a brand new cruise line that's launching this summer. So if you haven't heard of them, you can do a quick look or give, obviously, you know, Sell Off Vacations a call. But they're a new partner for us. As I said, they're just starting up, which is a tremendous story to hear throughout all of this. And they really realize there's a niche market out there. They're calling themselves Luxe Adventure. So what that means is they're combining small ship luxury with expedition adventures. So again, they're going to some unique places, the Dead Sea, the Holy Land, Antarctica as well. And these smaller kind of expedition ships really are allowed to get off the beaten path and explore some untouched areas. And if that's an interest from anybody, these are a couple cruise lines I would definitely recommend.
Wow, that sounds really interesting, and would like to try one of those myself as well. I hear that there's a lot of cruises that have events or themed cruises. Like, what kind of themes or events that happen on some of these cruises?
There's a lot of different types of themes actually, and I think majority of the cruise lines actually have started doing these now. But music theme's a big one. You know, you get a rock or country or 80s, and they get these, you know, artists and, you know, older bands to come on, and obviously they perform, and there's some fan interactions and things like that. Disney and some of the cruise lines do Star Wars and Marvel theme. There's sports themes as well, where a bunch of fans of the same sports team get together. They have old players and stuff signing autographs. So really, there's so many different themes. And what I'll tell the viewers, if there's a hobby, if there's you know, a passion that you have, maybe you're even able to get, you know, 15, 20 friends together. For example, if someone owns a yoga studio and you want to do a yoga type cruise, definitely that's something we can always look at, is putting together your own little theme group if there's a passion or niche. And obviously we have a groups department that we can work with Sell-Off Vacations to help plan that for you.
Thanks, Jeff. That was a lot of information. What about a bachelor or bachelorette party? This is for myself. Like, I have actually a client asking for this, so.
Perfect. Well, for me, what comes to mind is Carnival. They're actually referred to themselves as the fun ships, and their newest ship is called Mardi Gras. So again, what party is more fun than Mardi Gras? But no, the one thing I'll say, we're starting to hear about this a little bit more. You know, if people have been to Vegas, you know, so many times, or just looking for something different, you can easily do even just a quick 3-4 day itinerary. So I know Carnival has some that go from Florida out to the Bahamas, a 3-4 day, maybe one from New Orleans if you want to combine that too, or even on the West Coast, maybe an LA departure down to San Francisco or Ensenada, for example. So those 3-4 day bachelor party kind of itineraries are getting a lot more popular, definitely, and we're seeing more requests.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I've been on a Carnival cruise myself, and they are known for being fun, that's for sure. What about those beer and wine enthusiasts? Like, are there any ships or cruises for those type of people or clients?
Well, what comes to mind first for me when you talk about wine would be obviously a river cruise. So someone like AmaWaterways, Avalon, and, you know, sailing through the heart of some of these cities and, you know, sitting out on the top deck, taking it in, enjoying your glass of wine. And, you know, there's itineraries obviously where you'll even get to visit some of the vineyards when you get off the ship. You can do some food and wine pairings. But yeah, you know, a Europe river cruise, obviously you're going through some of the most celebrated kind of wine regions that are out there in the world. And, you know, the beer enthusiasts, again, you can still enjoy one of these river cruises that, you know, takes in maybe Austria, Germany, Czech Republic. I've been over there. It really is the beer drinking capital of the world. I know we like to brag as Canadians, but they have some strong beers and some good beer drinkers over there as well.
Thank you, Jeff. That was a lot of information and a lot of fun. Let's check in with Shannon again to see if there are any more questions for us.
Hey, thanks guys. So much great information. Makes me think about what I want to do next for a cruise for sure. Lots of options. But actually, before I get into the Q&A, I wanted to quickly mention and let everybody know that we do have an exclusive group rate on the Norwegian Bliss ship for October 23rd, 2022 sailing. It's a fantastic itinerary. It's doing the U.S. Pacific coast, actually, something a little different. It sails from Vancouver with stops in Victoria, San Francisco, San Diego, Ensenada, and it ends in Los Angeles. So it's starting per person at $1,344, taxes included. If that's for an inside cabin, the balcony would be $1,670 for the balcony. And with that exclusive group rate, you do get to choose two of the following with an inside cabin booking, and you get actually all 4 if you do the balcony cabin. So you get the beverage or soda package, the ultimate dining package, $50 excursion credit per cabin, and a 250-minute internet package per cabin. So again, with the inside, you get to choose 2 of those 4, but with the balcony booking, you get all 4 included. So, and with that cruise, it's a $335 deposit per person, which is actually refundable up until final payment deadline, which is 140 days prior to the October 23rd sailing. In 2022, and we do have limited space on that. It is a group rate, but it's certainly a fantastic option, something a little bit different. And Regina and Manuka can certainly get you more information on that if you're interested. At the end, you can grab a screenshot of their contact info. And also in the chat box, their emails are there as well for their office locations. So just something a little different that we have some exclusive space on. I just wanted to let you know about. So we'll get into the questions here. The next one that came in is someone asked, what would happen if you test positive for COVID while mid-cruise? Manuka, do you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So there are a lot of things, like, again, it's an evolving situation.
Yeah.
But what the cruise lines have come and said so far is that if you actually get the COVID-19 test positive on board, they do have a staff like doctors, nurses, and all that with fully vaccinated staff. Plus, they have the like I said, the full doctors and nurses there. And also, if you have to self-quarantine, like to self-isolate, there will be separate cabins available because the cruises are going to be on 40-50 capacity. So if you're going on a 7-day cruise, if you have to self-isolate, then you can actually be on a separate cabin from everyone else.
Yeah, designated specifically for that reason. Yeah, for sure. Excellent, Manuka, thank you. The next question here, actually, Jeff, I'm going to put this back to you because someone asked, what is the itinerary for that Hawaiian cruise again that ends up in Tahiti? Where do you port out of? And are there any sailing dates in February 2022? I'm not sure if you'd know that right off, Jeff, but certainly.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I want to say it wasn't February. I think it was a little bit later, closer to April 2022. And I believe it started in Honolulu, visits all the Hawaiian Islands, and then it goes to Tahiti, visits, Bora Bora, Moorea. I believe it ends in Papeete just because it's easier to fly home from there right through LA back to Canada. I want to say it was 12 or 14 nights off the top of my head. But yeah, you can certainly reach out to the team at Sell-Off and they can give you a quote for that.
Excellent. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it certainly sounds really intriguing. So yeah, definitely reach out to us and we can get you all the details for that for you. The next question that came in here was someone said, from Canada, do we need to show proof of a negative COVID test? How do we do this? And is it mandatory for a vaccine? I can't read the rest of that message, but is it mandatory for a vaccine, I guess, on the cruise line? Regina, do you want to take that?
Yeah, so again, things are evolving and the situation is always fluid. Protocol is always, restrictions, I should say, are always changing. But what we know right now, as per the sailing that is leaving in June with Royal Caribbean, you do require all the staff and crew are fully vaccinated. All guests 18 years and older must be fully vaccinated as well. And any of the guests under the age of 18 will need proof of a PCR test done 72 hours prior to their sailing. As well, with the fully vaccinated guests, you are also required a negative PCR test done 72 hours prior to sailing as well. So that's the information that we have right now.
Yeah.
Anything over and beyond that, again, it's just evolving. Again, we would keep you informed. That is why we suggest for you to not book cruises online, to call one of our agents or cruise specialists here, either myself or Manuka, and we would give you all that information and keep you up to date.
Absolutely, for sure.
I just want
Thanks.
to add to
Yep.
that, Regina. I think at the beginning of the cruise, they also do the antigen test, and at the end
That's
of the cruise,
correct.
also
And at
they're
the end of the
doing the
cruise.
antigen test. So,
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
they're very good in and careful about
Yeah.
what's
Lots,
happening.
so many protocols in place to keep
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
customers safe, for sure. So the next question here is someone asking about seasickness. Actually, where's the best cabin location for someone prone to seasickness? Jeff, do you want to take that?
Definitely midship. So towards the front and towards the back of the ship is where you're going to feel the motion a little bit more. So yeah, you definitely want a midship cabin. Now, the other thing, it really is your choice. Some people want to see the water in a balcony. Some people are okay with an inside, not looking at the water. But there's so many different things out there. You know, I've traveled with multiple people who thought they might be prone to seasickness, so they've done the ear thing. They've done the wristband. There's pills. Personally, I've been lucky. I've never got seasick once, but obviously everybody's different. But in terms of cabin location, definitely midship.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks, Jeff. The next question here is actually a comment first. Someone said, I've booked with Manuka and she's amazing. There's no name there, but kudos, Manuka.
Thank you.
The next question here is, do you sell river cruises? Manuka, do you want to take that one? Or Regina, whichever?
Regina, you want to go ahead?
Sure. I mean, yes, definitely. We do book river cruises. That is also another way of keeping it very small. Most of the river cruises cabins are, I think they're no more than 262 to 260 people on board. So definitely with the social distancing there, keeping it within the bubble. I think river cruising would be a great way of seeing right into the city, especially into the European cities, because you go right into the main cities of where you're going port by port.
Yeah.
I also want to add to that, Regina. So most of the river cruises, it's kind of like an all-inclusive. Most of the things are included. So it's also like when it's the ocean cruises, you have to purchase your drink package and so on. Sometimes most of the river cruises have everything included.
That's correct. Everything's included, but from meals, drinks, shore excursions, like everything is included. It's like a one price that you have to pay.
Excellent. Thanks, ladies. That was the last question for this segment, so we're going to come back one more time. So please put your questions in the chat box there, and we'll happily answer those toward the end, but we'll continue on. Regina?
Well, thank you, Shannon. I've been booking customers to cruise for departures in 2022 and 2023. Jeff, what are some of the benefits for booking now?
Yeah, so we touched on this a little bit already. Obviously, it's going to be the demand versus the availability. You know, there's great pricing out there right now. There's some great offers. You know, cruise lines are stepping up with some very lenient terms and conditions. And as I mentioned, some of those unique itineraries that only operate maybe, you know, 1 or 2, 3 times a year, those are selling out and filling up quickly. The pricing is just going to go up closer to departure. And as you guys mentioned, you know, 40–50% capacity, that's going to be controlled, and less flights as well flying into these ports. So if you're thinking of going, lock it in, and now's the time. We're saying book now, travel later.
Jeff, if someone is booking for 2023, do we need to wait to book their airfare, or can we package it all up now?
No, you'd have to wait, unfortunately, for the air portion. The airlines only release their flights usually about 330 days in advance. So it's a little far out for the air portion, but when the time is right, you know, I talked about kind of being a one-stop shop. You can add in that airfare, any pre and post hotel, any attractions. And the one thing I'll say, you know, when it comes to travel brands, and all the agents that sell off vacations know this, if you book your air and your cruise with us, we have an air sea protection program. And what that means is if there's ever any, you know, weather issues, mechanical issues that delays your flight, because you have your flight and your cruise booked with the same company, we'll step up and assist clients that are having issues in destination, it's our worry-free guarantee. So you just contact your travel agent, they get in touch with us, and then we'd be able to assist, whether it's transfers, hotels, flying to a port of call, whatever it is.
Yes, Jeff, definitely. It's definitely better to book as a one-stop shop when booking these cruises. Anything could happen. And there are so many people with future cruise credits due to cruises that were canceled because of COVID. Just so everyone viewing is aware, we can assist you to rebook. You're using your future cruise voucher, even if your original cruise wasn't booked through Sell-Off Vacations. Both myself and Manuka can assist you with the reservation, and you can certainly contact myself at wchurchill@selloffvacations.com or Manuka at Brampton@selloffvacations.com.
I think that lots of families and friends are excited to travel together since we have been apart for so long. I've had lots of inquiries about group travel. Cruising together is a great way to spend quality time together, where there are lots of activities to suit all types of personalities. Jeff, are there any specific requirements needed to have a group?
Actually, you just nailed it right on the head there, Manuka. What we're seeing is a lot of cruise group requests and bookings, actually. As you mentioned, there's so many people that have family members now they haven't seen in months or over a year. Why not meet up on a cruise ship? You only need 8 staterooms for an ocean cruise line to qualify as a group. So if you have enough family and friends, get together, you get a better price as a group. You get these added amenities and bonuses that you can use for different things on board. The other thing with river cruises, it's only 5 stateroom minimum. So again, not very hard to come up maybe with 10 people that all want to do the same itinerary. But group traveling with your bubble, your family and friends, we're definitely getting a lot of requests for that. So get in touch with your Sell-Off Vacations agent. We have a groups department, as I mentioned, and they'll work with our team getting you a group quote and assist them with that request.
Definitely, and there are so many options with cruising, whether you're a single traveler or as a couple, a family, or even a group to experience cruising together. I love chatting with you both today about all these options.
Yes, some really great information for our viewers. Speaking of our viewers, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's check in with Shannon one last time to see if there are any more questions for us.
Thanks, Manuka. There's a couple more here, just a couple, but before I get into that, I wanted to mention to everybody tuning in that we have an Instagram contest happening right now through until March 27th, where you can enter to win a $1,000 travel voucher. That'll help you, could help you with planning your trip and booking, and a new 3-piece luggage set to go along with that. So you just have to follow at Sell-Off Vacations on Instagram for the full details on how to enter that contest. So certainly jump on Instagram and get yourself entered into that for a chance to win. And we'll go into the last couple questions here and then we'll wrap things up. The next question that had come in is someone specifically asked, when can we start booking Alaska? Regina?
So currently Alaska has been suspended until summer of 2022. So the first sailings, I believe, are going to be in 2022. Mm-hmm. We were hoping something from this year, but I guess due to, again, things are evolving constantly and things are changing constantly. So I would have to be for next year, of course, for Alaska.
Yep. Okay, perfect. And the very last question here is someone actually referring back to that Hawaiian cruise again. Which cruise line offered the Hawaiian to Tahiti cruise? Jeff, which was it?
Yeah, there might be a couple, but that particular one was on Norwegian Spirit, I believe.
Right. The Norwegian Spirit, perfect. And again, these ladies would love to help you out, so contact Manuka or Regina, and they can get all those info for you. So that's it for the questions. We'll wrap things up, and thanks so much for all that info. It was really great to hear from you all and get your insights on cruising. Thanks so much, Jeff, for joining us today. It's always nice to have you come in here and there to help
thanks
us
so
out.
much, ladies. It was a pleasure to be on, and thanks for everyone who was tuning in today.
Yes, thank you, Jeff, and thank you, everyone. Thank you to all the viewers for joining us today. If you have posted a question and it didn't get answered, Gabriella and Janice will remain online to respond to any questions we may have missed. Keep in mind that most of our storefront locations are open. Please refer to our website, selloffvacations.com, for the current hours of operation for your local store. Alternatively, agents are available to assist you by phone until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, and you can reach to one of our cruise experts at 1-855-294-2599. You can also contact Manuka or myself directly, or contact information should be up on your screen now for you to take a screenshot.
I want to remind everyone that we'll be back next week for another presentation. I encourage you to visit our website, selloffvacations.com, and sign up for our weekly newsletter. The newsletter will keep you up to date on our current promotions, and we'll also have all the information on our upcoming presentations. Please join us next week on Wednesday, March 31st, when we will be talking about travel trends and rebooking with COVID vouchers. We hope you will join us again. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.